Dark clouds hung heavy over Capernaum, casting long, suffocating shadows across the dusty streets. A Roman centurion pushed through the bustling marketplace, the rhythmic clanking of his armor sounding like a countdown to tragedy. He ignored the merchants and the local guards, his eyes fixed on a horizon that offered no hope. Back at his villa, his most trusted servant lay broken on a straw mat, limbs twisted and useless, gasping for every shallow breath. A young servant boy approached him, his voice trembling as he whispered, "Sir, the fever has seized him completely. He will not last the night." The centurion gripped the hilt of his sword until his knuckles turned white. He commanded 100 battle-hardened men, yet he was powerless to command life to remain in the one he cared for most. Suddenly, a roar rose from the city center, cutting through his despair. "The teacher is here! Jesus has arrived!" Without a second thought, the centurion broke into a desperate run, leaving the safety and dignity of his rank behind. He found Jesus surrounded by a thick, impenetrable wall of people. The crowd hissed as the Roman approached, their voices dripping with ancient bitterness. "An oppressor comes," they muttered. He ignored the insults, fought through the press of bodies, and dropped to his knees in the dirt before the teacher. "Lord," he choked out, his voice cracking under the weight of his grief, "my servant lies at home, paralyzed and in terrible agony." Jesus looked down, his expression steady, calm, and filled with an unearthly peace. "I will come and heal him," Jesus replied simply. The crowd gasped in shock, expecting the Roman to be honored by the visit. Instead, the centurion pressed his forehead into the dust. "Lord, I am not worthy to have you under my roof," he said, his voice steady but thick with emotion. "Just say the word, only speak, and he will be healed." He looked up then, his eyes meeting the gaze of Jesus with a startling clarity. "I am a man who understands authority," he explained. "I have soldiers under me. I tell one to go, and he goes. I tell another to come, and he comes. My servant does what I command because of the rank I hold. You, teacher, have that same authority over life, death, and sickness. You do not need to walk to my house to change what is written." Jesus turned to the stunned crowd, his voice ringing clearly through the square. "In all of Israel, I have found no faith as great as this." He looked back at the kneeling soldier, a smile of grace touching his lips. "Go," he commanded. "It is done as you believed." At that exact second, 3 miles away, the servant in the villa sat bolt upright. The gray pallor of death vanished as color rushed back into his face. He stood, his legs firm and strong, and walked to the door as if he had never been ill. When the centurion finally reached his home, his heart was hammering against his ribs. He pushed the door open to see his servant standing there, whole and vibrant. The centurion fell to his knees once more, realizing that distance meant nothing to the power of the word. Miracles do not need proximity. They only need a heart that truly believes.